learn the share content feature before we get started?
I guess I did have a question about mine.
Sure.
Um, I am going to introduce everyone.
Yeah.
And am I supposed to play a slide while I'm introducing everyone? Because I mean, I'll be looking at people and they'll be saying hello to me back. So do we have a slide before I start, or do we have a slide while I'm talking?
So there's a slide that you'll like begin the intro, and then we can show the slide of the panelists, bring that in, right? And then as you introduce everybody, that slide will be showing, and then we will just remove that slide.
I mean, does Alicia do that?
I can do that for you if you want me to.
I guess because I'll be reading my words, but because I have to lean over and share if I do that. So if you
Okay,
could do
so
that, and you could do it, and in that case, you could do it anytime you want to. I'll just keep talking, and I guess we'll work around it.
right, so I can do it for you. It's no big deal.
Well, thank you very much.
Okay, great. All right. So, Partha, can you,
Yeah.
just for consistency purposes, since everybody else has their background blurred, can you just have your background blurred too?
Okay.
Thank you.
Let me go to some other spot then, because my background is really bad.
Okay, good to know, Deborah. Thank you. And while Partha's working on that, Josette, I had a question for you. I know when you and I speak in the middle, I think there's 3 questions. It starts with how are you seeing ESG initiatives?
Yep.
Okay, good. So you're not going to talk about the thought leadership inputs. That's addressed in your questions. So I can skip the first one. I can go to the next 3, if that makes any sense.
Yep, that's right.
Okay.
That's right.
All right, great.
Is it better now for me?
No, we were asking for you to just blur it. So, like, if you remove the background and blur it, that would be best.
Okay. I did that. It's not taking it.
You clicked on the remove background?
Yeah.
Did you click on apply new settings? Sometimes if you have like a background already selected and then you enter the room, and then you need to change it, you need to apply the updated. I think that happened to everyone else as well.
Okay.
I can send you a private message as well so we can work through it.
It's okay.
Could I just say that, Partha, you're now using a virtual background.
Yeah.
We need to be consistent and have everyone use a blurred
Yeah,
background.
I got that. Just give me a second. It's not working. Your button is not working. Okay. I click that remove background one in red. It doesn't work. Okay. Do I go out and come back again?
No, I think that you should just be able to remove the actual, like, the way that you added the background is the way that you would remove it.
I did that.
Okay. You know what? Then try signing out and signing back in.
Okay.
In the meantime, Marissa, so you know how to share slides? Great. Okay.
Marissa, you're showing us up with your ability to share slides. I'm pretty impressed. Not everyone could do that. I'm not sure I could do that, so I'm glad you can.
Okay, great.
That's why they pay me the big bucks, James.
Okay, let me also try.
You've earned them.
Oh, that's funny.
So while we're waiting, Josette, can I just check with you? Did you want to have any links for like sort of like a takeaway after the webinar?
Links to a
Yeah.
takeaway.
As in like for a takeaway. So like maybe you want to direct someone to a landing page or maybe an asset that is related to this webinar, like maybe a content that was with Deloitte and Oracle. If there is something like that, you want to send me the link, or maybe who can I ask for
I
that
was about,
link?
I was about to ask Vinish.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
just I have one for our landing page to the Deloitte sustainability URL.
Oh, okay. So Vinish, I can connect with you after this,
I
or if
just
you already have it handy, I can have that
I
as
can
well.
ping it on the chat here, presenters chat.
Oh, okay, cool. And then, okay, thanks, Vinish. And just one last thing, wanted to check, just gonna share my screen, sorry for hijacking. um, let's see.
Well,
So,
we have.
Joseph,
I'm sorry.
oh, sorry, James.
Just very quick question. Vinish, Parmakadan is your last name?
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you. I hope I'm not messing it up too badly. If it sounds reasonable to
No,
you.
you pronounce it exactly right.
All right.
Vanish, you said you're having trouble with your network, but that was a few minutes ago. I just noticed. Is everything okay now?
Yes, it's okay. I connected to my hotspot. Even though I'm in the office, the connectivity is bad.
Okay, yeah. Got it.
So,
Okay,
Joseph just wanted to
all good now?
confirm.
Yep.
Okay, I think, is there anything else before we get started?
No, I think we're clear. So this is sort of a run through, and then we do like the real version.
Yeah, so here's what we're gonna do. I think we're going to like do a quick run through. We're not gonna do the entire rehearsal as the event because then it's
Right.
gonna sound very rehearsed if we're following it up with the actual event, right? So we'll go through the run through. We'll take 20 minutes or so to do that, and then James, you'll just count us into the actual event. So I'll cue you, right?
Okay. All right.
So let's do that, right? So we have I have the run sheet in front of me, and so what we'll do is we'll have everybody on camera for when you're introducing everyone, right? But
Okay.
then everyone can turn their camera off except James and Marissa because you two will be speaking first, and then the next round will be James and Gisette. So you'll bring Gisette in, and then Marissa, you can shut your camera off, and then it'll be James, Partha, and Vanish, and then Marissa, right? So then at the end, you can all turn your camera back on, and James, maybe just remind everyone to come back in, and then we'll have the outro slide, and we'll be done. Make sense?
I believe it does. The one question. So I'll go ahead and I'll ask the questions as for our rehearsal. That is, I'll ask the questions, and then maybe our panelists won't give the full answer. They just sort of like do a quick sentence or so as opposed to really answering it. So we have the skeleton of the whole thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. So I'm ready whenever anyone else is.
Okay, great. So let me just get this intro slide ready. Just hold on one second. Okay, and James, count back from 5, and then you can get started.
Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hi, I'm James McGuire, editor of eWeek. And on today's video, we're talking about how digitizing your ESG data and reporting can help operationalize and expedite the changes required to meet very important social and environmental goals. To discuss that, I'm joined by 4 industry thought leaders. With me is Marissa Alaferis, APAC Sustainability Lead and Market Maker for Oracle. Marissa, good to have you with us. So Marissa will not respond, or she'll respond.
Shall I respond? Thanks,
Yeah,
James.
in this one, I would say, "Hi, James. Thanks for having me," or something like that, right?
Awesome.
So everyone do that. Like, you can have your own. You don't have to say the exact same thing, but you can just say like, "Hi, James," and
Yeah.
move on.
Thanks,
That's it.
James.
Please, no one ask for a new moderator that way, so I introduce you. That's the one request I make.
Okay. We can
Also with me today is Partha Vidam, Executive Director and Oracle Practice Leader, Southeast Asia for Deloitte. Partha, hello to you.
Hello, James. Good to see you.
Vinish Parmakadan is Manager, Deloitte Consulting for Southeast Asia. Hello to you, Vinish.
We can't hear you, Vinish.
Can't hear Vinish? Is he frozen or no?
Yeah. Hi, James. Nice to be here.
Yes. And rounding out our panel is Josette So, Climate and Sustainability Advisory and Assurance Partner for Deloitte. Josette, very good to have you with us today.
Hi, James. Nice to see everyone.
All right, so let's start with Marissa. ESG, environmental, social, and governance goals, very important issue these days. What about the role of technology in meeting ESG goals? So what's important here?
Look, James, I think the sustainability in ESG measure space is not new. It's been evolving for a couple of decades. What is new is that in recent years, shareholders and stakeholders are really demanding an extra level of transparency around measurement and disclosures. They want to see effort, impact, and risk. All right, shall I pause there?
Sounds good.
Yeah,
So,
okay. I'm not sharing my screen, though, I just noticed. So, because we went in a bit quick. Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
What about Oracle's view on sustainability? What can you share with us here?
Look, I think from a technology perspective, we're certainly seeing a huge investment in the technology and data transformation space. With increased transparency, there's a requirement for more technology that fuels data collection, data insight, and data analytics, particularly given we're exponentially increasing the data sets. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's question 2.
Josette, I'd like to get your input. How are you seeing ESG initiatives transforming the values chain in the APAC region?
So within the region, I think there's 2 real key ESG initiatives that we're seeing across. So one is on the climate disclosure, which is gaining momentum. And number 2 will be from a decarbonization perspective. The agenda has been rising higher into the board's agenda. So I'm going to stop there.
All right. How can digitizing ESG data and reporting help operationalize and expedite the change required to meet social and environmental goals? This seems like a very important topic.
Yes, James, I completely agree. So from a digitalization perspective, it allows us to collect.
Hold on, sorry. Marissa, this was your slide. So when you're done with your bit and James kicks it off to Josette, just stops. Yeah, there you go. Stop screen sharing.
Got it.
So you were talking the second question, Josette.
Yep. So imagine I will have done that. You can go to the next.
What are the key issues and challenges you see emerging as businesses transition from intent to implementation in terms of operationalizing their ESG practice?
I would imagine there will be 2 key issue or challenge that I will share. So number 1 is on the fast changing regulatory compliance requirement perspective, which allows them to navigate through complex landscape and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, yeah.
All right, great. Partha, what are the steps and best practices to keep in mind when operationalizing ESG? What's your view?
Yeah, James, I do think that we have to do an initial assessment, make sure that the firms have a proper ESG strategy, then deep dive, and then make the strategy into an initiative, and then convert into requirements and da 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 da.
Mm-hmm. What about key metrics? I mean, what are the key metrics that companies need to keep in mind?
Yeah, definitely. This is a very important and a new topic. So we are all still grappling with how do we measure it. So we should be looking at the materiality of the ESG regulations and da 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 da.
I'm trying to understand why the layout looks like this right now. Because Venetia's screen is much smaller than everybody else's. Venish, do you have
To me, it looks about the same. Actually, it looks like Venish. I mean, he and I are on top of Partha, but as far as I can tell, that I think the screens are the same.
All right, if it looks fine, because on my screen it looks a little different, but as long as it looks good to everybody, does everybody see the size?
No, Partha, does yours looks a little smaller? It's hard to say.
No,
Yeah.
it looks equal on top for you two, and then me.
Sorry, just this is Alicia from Big Marker. I do see from the attendee view that Vanish, your the box is smaller. It's the same size, but the box, it's like a white box around you. So I will send a message to the dev team to see what we can do about that.
Or probably Vinish, you switch on your cam after I have spoken.
No,
yeah, but I didn't really share the screen over here when we talk about the architecture and the journey.
Yeah, you should be opening the screen when we do the roadmap, right? Which is the third question, not now.
Yeah, this one is it good?
Just show me.
Yeah, we can see the screen now. But are you? You're going to be on camera, so you should turn your camera on then.
No, this is
this is for me for the third question.
Okay, got it. Okay, so let's keep going.
Yeah.
Okay, we're ready. Shall we move forward?
Yeah.
What about timelines? What timelines can one expect during the implementation?
Yeah, so when you're starting it as a new program, James, I do think that you do need to spend a lot of time in the design and strategy and how we are looking at the regulations and coming up with the overall architecture. So it is likely to be a 1-year program. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Vanish, I know you've got a demo of the Deloitte EPM offering, the Enterprise Performance Management offering. Would you like to share that demo with us now?
Yeah, sure. So thanks, James. So what we have also built as an accelerator sort of thing is how we can use the Oracle tool to help you with the reporting and planning and stuff, right? That being said, I'll share my screen over here. I'm not able to share the particular screen, but then, okay, yeah. Yep. And then I go explaining what all this is about, and then I conclude and pass it over back to James.
Okay. Marissa, to wrap up, what's the immediate next step for companies to get started on operationalizing ESG?
So, sorry, 1 second. Vanish, when you're about to share your screen, make sure you have it ready to toggle on so that you don't have to go through like showing what's on your screen and then getting to it. You know what I'm saying? Just have that image ready so you toggle right into like what you're going to show.
Sure. Okay. I think I'm ready now.
All right. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Marissa, do you have a question? What's the immediate next step for companies to get started on operationalizing ESG?
Look, I think what we've heard today is that today ESG needs to embrace progress over perfection. We've been reporting financials for a lot of years. They're well understood and accepted standards, but ESG is a new and an emerging set of standards, and we might like to pause and wait for it to be right, but we really do need to start the transformative and change management exercises to bring that change to life.
Mm-hmm. And also important, where can people go to find more information about Oracle and Deloitte's sustainability offering? Is there a webpage?
Yeah, sure. We have customer success stories and pretty deep set of materials that cover our Oracle sustainability offerings at oracle.com/sustainability.
All right, great.
And I need the website link for the Deloitte team, so I can reference that too, please. Can somebody put that in the chat for me?
Vinish, you can
Right. Yeah, I have on the presenters chat. I have dropped that link.
Yeah.
Marisa,
I'm
we
actually
have-
finding it tricky to do the transition. So by the time I bring myself on camera, take myself off mute, and share a screen, it feels fraught. Is that okay? Are we just prepared to do snipping if required at
Yeah,
those
no,
points?
it's no worries. Whatever,
Okay.
we'll be
I
able
guess
to edit.
they will do the editing and make you
Yeah,
look
yeah.
bad.
As long
And
as
they'll-
as long as that's okay, because I'm like, so I'm going to get
It's
something.
fine.
If anyone can do it, you can do it, Marissa. We have faith in you. If it's tough for you, it'd be tough for anyone.
Amen.
So you
Marisa,
will.
so for the call to action, right? Don't need to mention it in the recording because we'll have it in the holding slide at the end.
Oh, okay.
So we also have for something for Oracle from Oracle as well. So we have two.
Okay, so we'll skip that last question
Yep.
then. Yeah. Okay. Does that make sense, James? So
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Say that one more time.
So we're not asking though where can people go for more information. There'll be a holding slide.
Yeah, and then
at-
the editor can actually add that in. That makes perfect sense. Sure.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
So, so this is the end, right? So we'll share our outro.
And I could say so after Marissa gives the website, I could say something like, "Thank you very much to the four of you. I learned a lot. Thank you for sharing your insight today. Appreciate it a lot." Something like that.
Yeah, and then thank you for joining us. And then this is what we have at the end. Okay.
Is the Oracle logo looking a bit
Yep.
smudged?
So I will check this with May. So I'll be working with her. Can I just also check if Jackie, you can bring up the first slide that you had, right?
Sure.
Just wanted to get Josette and Pata to confirm that you're okay with your title. Your title is accurate and your name is okay. So just need that final confirmation.
Yeah, mine is okay.
No, mine is missing a
Maybe.
So Josette, you need a Southeast Asia, is it?
Yeah,
Or-
right before
Okay.
climate. So you can put a SEA, Climate and Sustainability Advisory and Assurance Partner.
We
Okay.
all live in the sea.
Helena, if you could just help me take note on that as well. Would that be okay?
Vinish, you want to call yourself EPM lead?
Well, we need to make
Just
the correction in the slides right now because this is what's popping up in the recording. So,
Right.
Herlina, can you make these updates and upload the new ones?
Yep, I'm on it now. So
Okay.
SEA in front of climate for Josette and Vinish, you are making changes as well?
Yeah, you can
yeah,
just
just
after
call him
the
after management, call him EPM lead, the Light Consulting ACA.
So
Sorry,
manager, comma, EPM lead, comma,
Yeah,
comma.
then Deloitte
Yeah.
Consulting Southeast Asia, correct?
yeah,
That's
that's
right.
right.
Okay,
Okay,
cool.
got it.
So Jackie, for the outro slide, right? I think we'll need to do that after because we just received Deloitte's link and I'll work with Helena on the placement of the second QR code for Deloitte.
Oh,
So
this
this is not,
Okay.
yep.
So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to show this. It'll
yes.
just be James doing the outro for everybody, and then we'll edit it in after. So James, just make a note that at the end you could, thank you for joining us, and then all information will be available to you on the next slide or something like that along the lines of that, so people know that we're editing in a slide at the end.
Right, and actually, maybe the slide will come in while I'm speaking, even or while I'm saying goodbye to everyone.
Yeah, we can edit it in that way. That's fine. Okay, great. So then, sure, sounds good, Marissa. So before we get started, does anybody want to go to the bathroom or get a drink of water or something?
If it's going to be a couple minutes, I'd be right back, I guess.
Okay,
Are
so
we?
let's give everyone 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and then 3 minutes, and then we'll get
Yeah,
started.
sounds good. Okay.
Okay.
Everyone else has gone for their break.
Oh, there you go. Oh, that's too quick. Oh dear. What are you doing in Vietnam again, Josette?
We're having our Southeast Asia Partner Conference.
Ah, nice.
Partha is here as well. I think we're going to be late
Ah.
for the plenary, so we do have to run immediately after this recording.
Okay. Oh, really grateful for you fitting us in. I realise that this is it's quite an overhead in a busy week.
Yeah.
Thank
It's
you.
really, really, really busy here.
Yeah.
Because there's also drinks at night.
Yeah, no, it makes it really long days. Yeah.
Yes, it's really
No
long.
judgment. No judgment.
We are supposed to have fun in Danang, and you guys wake us at 6 o'clock.
Awesome. Wow. All right. Yeah, they're long days. Well, 2 more days to go. Do you get to jump on a plane on Thursday
Yeah.
For me, it's
and
Friday.
go home? Okay.
It's even longer because I have a new partners conference immediately after the normal partners conference. So I have one extra day.
Oh, listen. Yeah. Consulting world. I have not so fond memories of my days. They were long.
But at least you're sought after, Josette. That's what it means. You're busy and sought after.
Oh, that's so kind of you to say that in such a context.
Okay, so are we all feeling good and ready to get started?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, where did Partha go?
I don't know. At the critical moment, he disappeared.
Yeah.
It's like a Where's Wally story. Yeah.
Now we're all ready to get started, correct? Great. Okay, let's do it. So we're already recording.
Okay.
Hey, guys, just hold on. My internet has got something. Just one second. Yeah. Are you able to see me?
Yep.
I cannot see you myself.
Yeah, we can hear you and see you, Partha.
Yeah,
Okay,
we can
that's
see you moving your head.
Oh,
Okay,
okay. I cannot see myself.
Upload this new slide, the updated one. 1 second.
We lost Partha.
Do we lose? Okay, Partha, are you there? Okay. Partha, it said it's
Can you not hear him?
no.
Oh, okay. I can hear him.
We don't see him though.
Oh,
I can't hear him or see
I-
him.
Oh,
There he
okay.
is.
Hello.
Yeah, Partha. Can see you now.
Okay.
Okay. I think it's some sloppy connection.
Okay,
I've tried
so
to make this extra tricky for you, Partha. It's like an obstacle
I
course.
lost him.
okay, Partha, I have you in here 4 times. So I think what we should do is I'm going to remove. Okay, there we go. There's one. I'm going to remove another Partha.
Okay.
Hold
Which
on.
We have too many Parthas, is what she's saying, Partha.
uh,
I don't want you to feel personally offended by that. There's just
One-
too many Parthas.
No,
one
now,
is not
wait, now we have one Partha. Perfect. Before we all get too silly, let's get okay. There he's gone. Partha, can you please leave and come back in? Thank you. Okay, Partha's coming back in. Great. Okay, Partha.
Hello.
Hi. Hi. Can you just count to 5 for me, okay?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to throw up this slide right now for the intro. Okay. And James, we can count back from 5 and get started.
All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hi, I'm James McGuire, editor of eWeek, and on today's video, we're talking about how digitize. One more time, okay. Isn't that funny?
One more time. Go ahead, count back.
Do you want me to count again?
Yep.
Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hi, I'm James McGuire, editor of eWeek, and on today's video, we're talking about how digitizing your ESG data and reporting can help operationalize and expedite the changes required to meet very important social and environmental goals. To discuss that, I'm joined by 4 industry experts. With me is Marissa Eliferis, APAC Sustainability Lead and Market Maker for Oracle. Good to have
Hi,
you with
James.
us, Marissa.
Hi, James. Thanks for having me.
Partha Vidam is Executive Director and Oracle Practice Leader, Southeast Asia for Deloitte.
Hi, James. Good to see you.
Vinish Parmakadan is Manager, Deloitte Consulting for Southeast Asia.
Hi, James. Nice to be here.
And rounding out our panel is Josette. So,
second, I can hear an echo in the background. Are all of you muted, or do you all have your sound on right now?
All on.
I'm muted.
Sorry, just to chime in as well, Jackie. I think the slide is the previous one. Do you have the revised version that you show?
Hold on.
Okay.
I deleted the other one, so I don't know why that would be. Hold on one second.
I think the background noise is James, because when I look at your profile, I can see audio movement on screen.
you think the echo is me, Marissa?
Yeah, I think there's some kind of background.
What if I turn down my speaker level? So if I speak like this, are we hearing echo now? To discuss that, I'm joined by 4 industry thought leaders. And
No,
1, 2,
I don't
3,
hear
4,
echo.
5.
Yeah.
Is it an echo for me?
No, that's better. This is the correct slide, right? This is what I just uploaded. Okay, great. Okay, let's get started. Sorry, from the top, no echo now. And let's jump right in.
Let me just, I'm going to speak a little bit. So even at this volume level, are you hearing any kind of an echo?
No, there's no echo there.
Okay. All right. So you're ready for me to count down and go?
Yep, count.
Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hi, I'm James McGuire, editor of eWeek. And on today's video, we're talking about how digitizing your ESG data and reporting can help operationalize and expedite the changes required to meet very important social and environmental goals. To discuss that, I'm joined by 4 industry thought leaders. With me is Marissa Eliferis, APAC Sustainability Lead and Market Maker for Oracle. Hello to you, Marissa.
Hi, James. Thanks for having me.
Partha Vidam is Executive Director and Oracle Practice Leader, Southeast Asia for Deloitte. Hello to you, Partha.
Hi, James. Good to see you.
Vinish Parmakadan is Manager, Deloitte Consulting for Southeast Asia. Vinish, good to have you with us.
Hi, James. Nice to be here.
And rounding out our panel is Josette So, Climate and Sustainability Advisory and Assurance Partner for Deloitte. Hello to you, Josette.
Hi, James.
So, Marissa, let's start with you. ESG, environmental, social, and governance goals, very important issue today. What about the role of technology in meeting ESG goals?
Great question, James. Look, sustainability and ESG measures are not new. They've been evolving principles to guide responsible business for a lot of years. What has changed in recent years is shareholder and stakeholder demands for transparent measurement and disclosures on efforts, impacts and risks. There's a global demand for corporates to be accountable for walking their talk. And this requires more than tweaking a reporting regime. It requires a genuinely transformative investment in new ways of doing business and creating profit on a scale we've not seen since the Industrial Revolution. And what we know about business is that if you can't measure it, you can't manage it. And I think that presents a really interesting segue for technology, and certainly for Oracle. I think a recent No Planet B study we undertook across 11,000 consumers and business leaders in 15 different global markets highlighted this. And what we asked them was the role that they saw technology playing in better managing their people, planet and profit goals. And then the results were quite insightful. 91% of the respondents shared that some of the greatest barriers to achieving their net zero targets and sustainability goals were related to data challenges and the lack of technology which helps them measure, monitor and manage achievement in real time. Of those respondents, 89% saw tech playing a critical role in removing those barriers. And so from an Oracle perspective, we'd certainly have to agree. To make progress, ESG needs to move out of the realm of marketing and CSR reports, traditionally coordinated via blood, sweat and Excel, and it needs to move into organisational and operational metrics by enabling the quantitative definition of ESG value, risk and impact, and secondly, operationalising the definition in corporate value chains, including product lifecycle management, supply chain management, human capital management, data, governance, facilities, etc. So I think there's, with the exponential increase in the scope and scale, the challenge for technology and the innovation and possibility that technology offers is pretty exciting for a lot of organisations that choose to embrace this as an opportunity.
Interesting. All right, so what is Oracle's view on sustainability?
Look, we're probably not dissimilar to a lot of our customers. To be honest, we've invested a lot of effort in transitioning ourselves using our own technology. And what we've seen is a pretty significant shift in terms of our own metrics. So as a multinational company, we're under the same mandatory regulatory requirements as a lot of our customers. And so in making data more transparent, more available to our operations, drinking our own champagne as you would, we've managed to reduce our reliance on energy and water-intensive computing hardware by moving to the cloud. Cloud computing is about 60 to 70% more efficient than on-prem. And as we've removed hardware from our value chain, we've created a circular economy, which reuses and recycles 99% of those assets. And from a social impact perspective, we invest heavily in the communities that we're part of through social mobility, education, diversity, inclusion programs. At the end of the day, though, our contribution in this space is a drop in the bucket. What's really exciting is the way that Oracle can enable our customers. So we have 390,000 customers in 147 countries and a single line of code, and that presents huge opportunity for innovation because an innovation or change by one customer can help lift the boat for everybody else. And I think as ESG leaders use measurement and transparency mandates to invest in these capabilities and their data and technology, they'll put themselves in a better position to leverage that to make more informed decisions with respect to environmental impact and some of the complex forward-looking trade-offs that need to be made in near or real time as they attempt to meet shareholder, stakeholder and regulatory expectations.
Josette, I'd like to get your input. How are you seeing ESG initiatives transforming the values chain in the APAC region?
Yep. So from our region perspective, I think I would share two key ESG initiatives that's gotten a lot of momentum or attention. So one will be on what we call mandatory climate disclosure, and I think that's one of the key areas that has been focused on these days, mainly because identification of climate risk and opportunity these days is like a key requirement from investors. They are asking to look at that because they're trying to understand the business climate resilience as to how they're addressing what is expected to come in terms of climate change. And this expected mandatory climate disclosure is going to go beyond listed companies. So, for example, in Singapore, as well as in what's being proposed in Australia, we're starting to see that the regulators are looking at mandating it more than just listed companies, starting from listed usually, and then phasing in the non-listed large entities and followed by the SMEs. So that's one growing initiative trend. And the second one I'd like to share will be on decarbonization. And I believe that has taken a higher, I would say, agenda on all companies' management agenda in terms of how they're trying to address this decarbonization, which is one of the key, I would say, initiative required as part of their climate reduction and plans. As you can see from Marissa's earlier presentation as well, Oracle has tons of those activities. And I think from a greenhouse gas disclosure perspective in the past, we see lots of disclosures coming in from scope 1 and 2 greenhouse gas emission. So maybe just to sum it up a little, so greenhouse gas, scope 1 is what we call direct emissions by a company. Scope 2 would be those indirect emissions, for example, electricity that you purchased. And lastly would be scope 3, which is 15 categories that you can disclose within your value chain. So with the new EU CSRD as well as ESRS disclosure requirements, as well as the new IFRS Sustainability Standards Board S1 and S2 standards being issued and finalized. So we're starting to see that mandatory scope 3 disclosures is a big ask. So that's something that we going to see a higher push in terms of agenda as well in the space. Now, summing that all up, clearly from all these ESG initiatives, we can tell clearly tons of data will be expected from companies to gather, to collect, and ultimately to disclose and report.
All right, so how can digitizing ESG data and reporting help operationalize and expedite the changes required to meet social and environmental goals? See, this seems like a really key topic.
Yes, James, I would completely agree. So like tons of data that's expected. Digitalizing it, I guess there'll be, for me, I'll share three key, I would say three key, okay, let's pause there for a while. I'm trying to find a word. Yeah, okay, sorry, James. Can you ask that question again and we'll come back?
Certainly. Here we go. And how can digitizing ESG data and reporting help operationalize and expedite the changes required to meet social and environmental goals? It seems like a very important topic.
Yes, James, I think this is a very important topic. So in the earlier part of my sharing, I talk about, tons of ESG data will be required to be collected as well as reported ultimately. So digitalizing it, and I believe there'll be three key benefits. One will be allowing collection in a more structured and standardized format, so that helps to enhance data accuracy, reduce any human errors, which is commonly associated, for example, using a manual spreadsheet. Now, number two, once these digital systems are being set up, so we believe that will help to get real-time data really quickly, so we can track, we can maintain, and it allows key management or stakeholders to make enabled, informed decision-making. And number three, maybe for a digitalized ESG reporting process, there's an automation in terms of how the data is being collected. There will be, validation and task that's being set into the process. This helps to streamline operation and reduce any manual errors, frees up basically, resources to do more strategic activities from an organization perspective.
Mm-hmm. So what are the key issues and challenges you see emerging as businesses transition from intent to implementation in terms of operationalizing their ESG practice?
I would think from a key issue and challenge perspective, I'll share two at the top of my head, two key ones. So one will be from a regulatory compliance and reporting requirements perspective. So there's a lot of new requirements. So for example, the new IFRS Sustainability Standards Board has just issued that two new standard. So that's an example of how it's fast changing, and it's naturally more complex in terms of this landscape of regulatory and reporting requirements. So this rapid development and changes poses another dimension of challenge. So that's something that companies will need to get really updated really quickly in terms of what's required. Number two will be from a resource allocation and investment perspective. I believe that aligning financial commitments as well as resource allocation to the overall sustainability goals, vision, and mission of an organization can be challenging. And of course, when we say resource allocation, that extends beyond financial resourcing. That also includes human resources. And with that, how's the capabilities and capacity of the workforce being matched up, to look at those implementation requirements to operationalize ESG in this way.
Part of that, let's talk about best practices. What are the key steps and best practices to keep in mind when operationalizing ESG?
Yeah, James, if you look at ESG as an initiative, it has to be taken with a real important and a key aspect of the program of everybody. It shouldn't be like an extracurricular activity. So, which means you need to have an initial assessment to be done to set up the ESG strategy, and then you are supposed to look at a deep dive of the strategy into the initiatives, convert it into deep down requirements, and really make sure that you have got a concrete plan into making it real, making it tangible, and making it firm wide, right? So which means you are supposed to really look at it with a very important key aspect of all the things that you will do when you do a transformation program. And with that, you will top it up with technology so that you are able to do it faster, also with accurate data, and it is reliable, right? Just like how Joseph said, it is not just about going through the scope one and two, but if you look at scope three, it is going to be really challenging for everyone to do. So you need a real proper planning and follow the best practices that are laid out. But if you really look at it and see how it is done, we also are very encouraged by our partners like Oracle, for example, where they are embedding ERP, HCM, supply chain, and all the lists that Marisa mentioned with all the embedded ability to capture the configurations, also the data, so that you are not able to go to different places, but you are able to go to one single source of truth, and you've got the whole gambit of all the systems and solutions working together hand in hand, so that it makes life very easy and simple when it comes to the fag end of the reporting rather than scrambling for the data.
Mm-hmm.
So this just shows the overall architecture of how the different elements play together, and how we are able to embed the capture of the data for ESG and even beyond, so that we are future proofing the solutions with Oracle.
What about metrics? I mean, what are the key metrics to keep in mind?
Yeah, well, it is like any other transformation program. So it is not just about getting regulatory reporting done for the sake of reporting, but it needs to be embedded as part of the overall architecture of the solution, as well as the overall nuances of the company in running it. So definitely there would be a balance that you need to get between the materiality of what you are doing, and it has to be also, to Marisa's point, the speed at which we do, rather than getting everything right. So if you are looking at getting everything right, it is going to not be feasible for anyone to do it and then start the reporting. So you have to start somewhere, right? So your metric should be about how fast you are able to get it. Then the other metrics will definitely be about the cost of ownership, including the implementation cost, the operationalization cost, also the manpower and other stuff that Joseph did alluded to. It also need to be a measure of your KPIs around the time that you are able to implement, also the number of integrations and how much you are going to put into the system that makes it easier for you to take it forward in the future. So it shouldn't be like a one-off integration that you build, which makes it very difficult for you to change over a course of time. But what is very, very important is also the governance structure of making it real, tangible, and be able to be followed through over a period of time. So the governance structure of how the company structures itself so that you can embed ESG as part of everybody's business is also very important. So those would be the key metrics, James, in my mind.
What timelines can one expect during implementation?
Well, as I said, it really depends on where you are in the journey, right? So it can be a stage where a client is still not decided about their KPIs and strategy and what to do, which means you need to start right from the scratch to convert that strategy into the requirements into a tangible plan, which can take anywhere between 9 months to 1 year for you to get there. But there are many of the companies, especially in APAC, who have actually done some of those initial phases of identification and the initial planning. And they are probably midway in the areas of design. So we are still trying to figure out what the regulations will be. So, what should be your scope 3 or whatever requirements that you are going to put in. So, they are probably in the design phase, in which case, an implementation with a technology like Oracle EPM would take probably about 6 months to get there. But this is all high level numbers, also relies on the complexity, the availability of data, and your also core systems which are going to feed the data for you to get a good ESG framework done. So maybe that's a good segue to get to a real tangible outcome of what we are talking about. So maybe we can get Vinish to show us what we have built. So what Deloitte has done is we have used the industry and the expertise of people like Joseph, who bring us this capabilities of what is needed in the regulatory side of things, and got Vinish and others from our team who have got the technology know-how, and we have actually built a solution which is, I wouldn't say really full advanced, but it will be a good starting point for people to get to a implementation which is quicker and faster.
So, Venetia, I know you have a demo of the Deloitte Enterprise Performance Management offering. Would you like to share that with us now?
Hi, James. Yes, sure. So what we at Deloitte done is basically, and I just logged in and it's logged me out. Just give me a second. So what we have done at Deloitte is to build a accelerator, sort
Hold
of
on.
a proof
We're
of
gonna
concept.
start that again because you were logged out. So James, why don't you ask the question again?
Sure.
And then that way, Vanish, you can just give yourself a second to log back in so that you're showing the screen.
Yeah, 1 second. Let me just log in.
Do I need to wait for something?
Yeah, he's waiting to log himself back in.
Okay. All right.
Can you still see my screen?
No.
Okay.
No, Vinish, we cannot.
Okay, sharing again.
Okay.
No?
Now we can see it. So James, why don't you start from where you asked me the question, and then you
Yep.
share the screen.
So, Venetia, I know you've got a demo of the Deloitte Enterprise Performance Management offering. Would you like to share that with us now?
Yes, James, sure. So what we have here in Deloitte is we have built sort of an accelerator using the Oracle Enterprise Performance Management tool, the planning and budgeting tool, where we wanted to showcase as a more of a proof of concept how Oracle EPM can help clients to store and capture the data related to the emissions, the social and governance aspect of the ESG, and then use it for the analysis and reporting for regulatory needs, as well as use it for planning their goals as to how they see they would meet their target of sustainability, right? That being said, this is what we see on the screen is a landing page of the sustainability thing on the EPM, the enterprise planning and budgeting. Here we have different clusters. So one is the emission planning, which allows you to do a bottom-up planning of what is based on your baseline emission, how much terms of goals you have for at the department or company level or location level that you want to reduce your emissions, and then what you should target for, right? So I'll just give a quick glimpse over here. So in the baseline emission here, we can look at what is my current emissions across different scope 1, scope 2, and scope 3 metrics, right? And then this is captured from the source systems, which can be Oracle ERP, right, where they have the placeholders to capture the scope 1, scope 2, and the scope 3 from the suppliers in your supply chain, right? So if this is your baseline, then users can go and plan for their KPIs as to how much they see they want to reduce the electricity consumption over the next 3, 4, or 10 years, right? And so on for other metrics, and then look at the target emission, right? So now this can be an input base, allowing specific individual planners to plan for their departments or companies, or you can make use of the predictive planning feature of the tool, wherein you look at your historical emissions across the different categories and then use the predictive planning option where the system, based on the algorithm defined, captures the historical data and use it for predicting what should be your target sustainability goals, right? Emission norms, right? And you can use the best case or the worst case and then even tweak it accordingly. This is more of a bottom-up approach of how we can plan for the target emissions. On the contrary, there's also a target top-down approach where at the management, the governance team within the ESG framework defines at the company level what should be the target emissions, and then this can be allocated down based on different allocation percentages by different departments or different services, and then we can look at what should be the target that they need to achieve, right? So this is more of a top-down approach. Whichever way is it, what the tool also helps then is to capture this information against your plan versus actual by way of dashboard. So it's more analytical and intuitive for the users to see where they are and how they're proceeding, right? So a quick glimpse would be like a consolidated dashboard of all your emissions here. So this one shows my emissions, scope 2, scope 3 emissions in UK, and by different department for different category of your consumptions of electricity, transportation and stuff. And then a geo map where you can see how much is scope 1 in a particular geography and so on, right? You can also go into detailed travel emissions. When you travel for business purposes, the airlines today do capture and provide you what is your scope 3 emission because you're traveling by flight and so on, right? So depending on which airways you travel, you can see a trend and see how much you are spending or on your carbon thing, right? Then you can accordingly plan the decarbonization. So this has all these features we have built. What it then culminates into is generating the sustainability reports. Like, so one sample example over here is then how if you would typically report to the regulators or publish online on your website, right? So this is one example of a ESG report. I'll just wait for it to show up over here. Yep. Right. And it's almost there. Right. So this report over here is a pre-formatted standard report that you typically publish, like the way you're seeing a P&L or a balance sheet and stuff that the companies publish. So here we can publish the emission things, how they have performed across regions. So this can be in different format, layout, as a PDF or HTML and so on, right? And in addition to this, the last one would be in terms of initiatives, right? For example, a company can take an initiative of decarbonizing by way of moving their fleets from a diesel or vehicle to an electric vehicle. So because of the initiative, what was my impact financials P&L before the initiatives and after the initiatives, right? So this gives a comparative view, and then in terms of how different initiatives impact your financials also, right? So that is the beauty of the tool in terms of addressing not just capturing the data, but planning using that data and then reporting for regulatory purposes and for the company's sustainability goal as well, right? So that was my summary and a quick view of the accelerator we have built at Deloitte.
All right. Marissa, as we wrap up, what's the immediate next step for companies to get started on operationalizing ESG?
Thanks, James. Look, I think the recurring theme of today's discussion, can I just pause for a second? I'm sorry, I'm struggling with the intro, outro. Can we go back into that?
Sure, I can ask the question again.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
Marissa, as we wrap up, what's the immediate next step for companies to get started on operationalizing ESG?
Look, James, I think the recurring theme of today's discussion is that ESG needs to prioritise progress over perfection. We've been reporting financials for a lot of years, and that's a really well understood and accepted set of standards. ESG is new, and it's nowhere near that standard. So the key is not to wait to get started. We need to start moving towards source to report transparency while we're future-proofing our organisational approach. I think the Deloitte team has very aptly highlighted a couple of themes for us today. So progress is as much a business change exercise as a compliance and operational data exercise. Data and technology play a critical role in enabling businesses to transparently and holistically evaluate their ESG actuals against their forecasts and make progress. And we're actually being faced with more than a compliance regime. We're actually being asked to create a new model of business and redefine what good looks like. We're being asked as business leaders to solve the world's problems in the process of our profit making and ensure that we leave people and planet better than we found them for the next generation. Without the data and tech at hand to enable that, we really lose sight of the metrics and we lose the ability to manage and we'll continue to lag against our net zero goals and our social impact goals, which at the end of the day really presents a risk to the sustainability of our profits, as well as the availability of the people and planetary resources that we need in that process.
So perhaps most important, where can people find more information about Oracle and Deloitte's sustainability offering?
Okay, we have information available on the oracle.com website /sustainability, and the Deloitte team have a link available in the still play at the end of this webinar.
Well, great. I think we covered a lot of ground. I want to thank the four of you for sharing your expertise. I think it's a very important topic, so thank you very much.
Thank you, James.
Thank you, James.
All right, let's do that outro one more time because the slide came back in and then all of you weren't on the screen. So we'll just take it from after Marissa finished, right, James?
Yes.
Pick it back up and everybody get off screen, and then when James is thanking all of you, you come back in, okay?
Alrighty.
Sorry, just jumping in, Marissa, for the call to action. For Oracle, it's a solution brief. So you can just mention we have a...
I thought we were just going to post that in a plate
so
at the end.
Yep, we are. So I think if you're not going to mention it, you can just say we have resources available at the end of the webinar that will be shown on the screen. I think that would be good.
Okay. So do we need to go one step backwards and okay, or am I doing my whole outro again?
Can we just do the question where James asks where can the audience find the resources? Yep. Thanks.
Are we ready for that?
I think so.
Yeah, sorry, I got kicked out, but I'm back. Okay.
You're back. Okay.
I'm here now. Okay, so Marissa, sorry, James, you're going to introduce everybody back in and thank them all for joining, and then we'll end it.
Well, I think we're going to have Marissa do her last, her
okay.
where can we find more information? I'm going to feed her the question and she'll say that again, and then I'll do the outro.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah. Marissa, are you ready?
I think so, yes.
So perhaps most important, where can people find more information about Oracle and Deloitte's sustainability offering?
Yeah, we have some resources that will be made available at the end of this webinar. So there should be a brief slide at the end of the pack.
Mm-hmm. Great. Well, I think we covered a lot of ground. This is a very important topic, and I want to thank the four of you for sharing your expertise today. A lot of good stuff. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much for having us.
Thank you, James.
And we're done.
Hi.
Great job, everybody.
Remarkable.
So excited. Thank you all. This was really fantastic.
All right. We'll go grab some breakfast and go to the event.
Okay, amazing. Thank you.
Thank you, Arthur. Thank you, Gisette. Really grateful.
Yes, bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye,
Thanks,
everyone.
guys. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.